Good
ריצ'י.
evening or afternoon, ריצ'י. Let me put the spotlight on you.
Where is he?
Where is he? Oh, here he is. Smiley ריצ'י at the spotlight, and you are unmuted. Hey, ריצ'י, how are you?
My man, I'm good, my friend. I'm good. I'm so good to see you. I'm here in one of our Miami bases. I got a Banksy right behind me. Look at that. Isn't that something else? So I thought to myself, well, let's keep it animalistic and not get too ballistic. But it's good to see Adar. And of course, it's good to see Katya and Michael. And what's up, Adar? It's good to see who we got here. Eli, Oshri. Oh, my God. Look at all these good-looking people. Good-looking people. Look at all these good-looking people. Or, Yael. Good to see you guys. Ohad. Noam. Yes. How are you, my friends?
We're all good. We're just
glad to have you here.
We're just letting people know your background, and you're in Miami currently, and we see it's early in the afternoon right now. You're there on business, and first of all, I want to thank you for the time and for joining us today on our 50th episode of Modeling Success with the mentoring call, and we're very honored to have you, our coach, our friend, our partner, but more of everything, our friend. How are you? What's going on?
I'm doing well, my friend. You know, I mean, it's been a long time since we've started working together, and I want everyone to write things down right now. And if you're not, make a note of this, is that you've got to like who you work with to make things work. You've got to like the way in which they are, the people that they are. And, you know, these are important things. This is why I work with such incredible celebrities around the world, from thought leaders to iconic business leaders to business professionals to athletes, which is one of the reasons why I'm here in Miami. So it's amazing that the mindset of a champion, the drive to win it, to get it, is something that Ohad and Noam have got. And I'm so grateful to know that they're not just my friends, but they're also my partners in that part of the world.
I wanted to ask you, your background is basically Wall Street, money and investments. How did you roll into the coaching business, being a coach and such a wanted coach around the world?
Well, you know, I did start in the financial services business in 1991. I started off as a cold call cowboy, making 300 cold calls a day, every day. That's what I did. That's who I was. And I was built on Bay Street, trained on Wall Street, and then I was shipped around the world. I was a service and skill set that got weaponized for investment banking companies. I worked with Merrill Lynch and Fidelity and some of the largest. I raised $7.5 billion in that time. And I wasn't even 30. And so it was an interesting time. I don't take all the credit for it. The capital markets were kind. It's easy to ride a wave when it's going up. So with all the kidding aside, I mean, for me, the financial markets is where I started. That's where I did have my start.
And when you started coaching, how did you choose your coaches?
Well, in terms of, I think they chose me. I mean, they chose me. They're the ones who, when people have a problem or a challenge, when they feel stopped or stuck, they call me. But because I was in the business world, the reality was that you end up having the opportunity of fixing problems inside of a really cool vertical. So if it was a money problem, you got into the business of fixing money problems. When you were in the, the business of launching charitable initiatives, then you started fixing those problems. So I think when you become a coach, you need to recognize that as long as you know how to resolve a problem for people, it doesn't matter what the industry is. That skill set is transferable in any area.
And having said that, do you see any differences between coaching CEOs and presidents and coaching sports athletes and NBA players?
I don't see the difference at all. I mean, you know, they all want to win. They all want to, get something done. They're all competitive. They all see problems the same way. They all want the problem to go away. So, whether I'm working with LeBron James or a CEO of a blue chip company, they're both competitive. They both want it. They're both very hard on themselves when it comes to, what problems they've got, their relationship to their breakdowns, and they really want to short-live those areas, right? That's what they want to do. So I think LeBron James is a very different human being, though. He's quite the phenomenon. But I also seen people in business who think they want to get coached, and they don't. They don't want to get coached. They don't want to listen. They want to keep their problems, because keeping the problems in front of them keeps them safe. And if you're writing down any notes, that's the point. Sometimes problems keep you safe. You don't want to resolve problems. So it's very difficult to cut through the coachable moments that people would want to have. But when you're dealing with people who want to be winners, who want to be champions, who want to get things done, and who want to be on top and be really the king of their class or the queen of their jungle, then it's easier to coach those people.
And when you coach all those people, do you have any mantra or a mission when you're coaching them?
Well, I think what it comes down to is understanding that if everything works if you work it, right? Everything works if you work it, and if you don't put in the work, it ain't going to work out. So I think a lot of people end up saying, you know what, I'm not going to work it; it'll work itself out, or the problem will resolve itself, or you know what, it's not my problem to fix, or I'm not responsible for the problem. So if there's one of many mantras that I would have, is that we would end up having the situation where what we've got is an opportunity of saying, hey, if you don't work it, it won't work out, right?
Yeah. And when you coach a lot of people, what is the main thing that you see that people need at this time, the post or during COVID times? Is there a different thing that people are asking for, are handling with?
People are in doubt. People are in doubt, Noam. People are in doubt. And when there's uncertainty, people don't know what they got to do. So you want to write that down. Where there's uncertainty, people need direction. When there's uncertainty, people want direction. So during COVID, during this pandemic, if there's one thing that's been at an all-time high for everybody, has been one thing: uncertainty. So where there's uncertainty, there's a need for clarity, direction. There's a need for leadership, for innovation, for courage. And there's definitely, and guidance, for sure. Great word, Ohad.
And if we're talking about the uncertainty, do you have a tip that you can give our participants? We have 165 participants online right now, and we have many hundreds more that will watch the recording. Do you have any tip for people who wants to achieve their goals and are in doubt at this point?
Well, when you say in doubt of what? In doubt of the goals that they wrote for themselves, or the doubt that they have in terms of like going after what the goals are? I mean, right now, if there's a problem that most people have is, do I even have the right goals? Mm-hmm. Do I even have the right goals? And after the pandemic, what people are starting to step back and ask themselves is, what am I even doing? Imagine this for a minute. Imagine we were all in the business of climbing mountains. And all of a sudden you realize that you climbed a mountain and you summited a mountain. Like you got to the top and you think to yourself, this is not my mountain. This is not what I want to do. So a lot of people, in fact, are climbing the wrong mountain. They're in jobs they don't like. They're studying bodies of work or research areas that they aren't even passionate about. They're in relationships that make no sense. I mean, they're in networks that are connecting them with the wrong people for the wrong reasons, because we get really busy being busy. But what we've got to get more focused on is asking ourselves questions. Is this what I really want? And if so, why? So I think this has been the time where a lot of people have actually done that. They've been able to step back and ask themselves, is this where I want to be? And is this the reason why I want to do it?
We have a question from one of the people in the audience. How do you keep energy? I mean, you're moving. We know that you're always in travel and you're moving around and you're with Zoom calls and coaching calls all the time. And you can get a phone call in the middle of a meeting from Bill Clinton, and going back to him and so on. How do you keep energy? How do you keep focused all the time?
I can definitely tell you guys that it's about sleep and it's about exercise. It's about eating right. It's all those things, and those things are easy to understand and accept. But here's the truth. You've got to be lit up by it. You've got to be lit up by it. If you're not excited about what you can do, if you're not happy doing what you are doing, then you'll never find the energy to do anything. It's the difference between doing the kind of work that leaves you saying, wow, where did the time go? Versus doing the work that you didn't feel like doing and you couldn't wait for it to be over, right?
And you
couldn't wait for it to be over.
And we can see you're lit by everything you're doing all the time. We remember talking to you the day before the finals, the NBA finals. You were like, man, I can't wait to see the finals and see the game and so on. I have a question that is a bit upside down. What did you learn from people you coached? What did you learn from them?
What did I learn from people that coached me?
No, that you coached.
What did I learn from them?
Yeah.
You learn more about yourself. You don't really learn a lot from them because you want to, as a coach, you want to make sure that people remain, that's their life. I don't want to take on their life. Sure, I've had clients that have nice things and have more money or have bigger cars or bigger boats and bigger bling. But I want to make sure that I'm always understanding who I am after coaching people. So I think if everyone was wanting to write something down, is you learn a lot more about yourself in coaching others when all you're doing is coaching them, not giving them who you are.
That's very, very smart to learn every day, every coaching call to learn more about yourself.
100%.
What would you tell young Ritchie if you would have the opportunity to talk to 20-year-old Ritchie? What would you tell him? How would you coach him?
No, number one, and I mean, it's not easy to even say this out loud, but it's, number one is be patient. Be patient. That's number one. Yeah, it's right here. Number one is be patient. Number two is you've got to really just trust the process, right? You've got to trust the process, because if you're not trusting the process, then you're not patient. And what I mean by patient is that everybody wants it so fast. And at 21, I wanted it so badly. I mean, I would drive cars I didn't need. I would buy stuff I didn't want. And I would have more than I required just to fit in, just to look successful. And it don't matter, because you know what? No one's really paying attention. No one really is paying attention. Right?
You wanted to ask something and I stopped you.
Did I lose you guys?
No, we're here. Ritchie, is there any difference between coaching people like presidents or celebrities or athletes? Is there any difference?
Well, aside from the fact that I just got distracted by my company, can you repeat the latter part of your question?
I asked about the coaching process. Is there any difference between coaching presidents or coaching actors or other celebrities or athletes or Tony Robbins or whatever? Is it a different
there's
process?
Different ego levels. There are different egos. They're different egos. I've worked with 5 U.S. presidents, and they're all very different.
Who you like the most?
Different from the next. President Clinton by far. I mean, Barack Obama certainly was good, but actors are also very introverted, so that's also a problem. Athletes are very full of themselves and very over certain about themselves. That's different. I think what's more important is to understand that there's different levels of accomplishment, but there's different depths of understanding themselves. And when people are really understanding who they are, you find that they no longer are up there. They come down a little bit to be relatable, right? As I'm saying to you, I'm just a regular guy. I'm wearing a T-shirt here, hanging out with you, and I mean, I'm just hanging out here with my partners. We've just left the meeting, which was super delayed. So this is why I'm actually mobile. So I apologize for having been late. But, you know, I'm just a regular person. And what makes me extraordinary is the commitments I have to people that matter to me. So I think what differs one human being to another is how great their commitment is to something else other than themselves.
Mm-hmm.